I didn't have a real solid dream until I was 13. 13 was my dream. I'm gonna move my mom out the projects. Because at 12, there was this canned food drive at school. At the time, I didn't know who the poor people were. So I was like, came back home, I was like, Mom, I need to bring canned foods to school. She's like, boy, you ain't taking no canned foods to school. I was like, what are you talking about, Mom? I'm gonna get a U on my report card. She's like, well, you just gonna get a U. So, boy, you ain't taking no canned food to school. How come? Because you just ain't. That's it. Then it was cool. I'm out of trouble. I can go outside and play. So now it's Thanksgiving time, and I saw Britt and Brad walking up my little sidewalk area. And there's no Britt and Brads in the hood. So here comes Britt and Brad. I'm like, hey, Britt, hey, Brad, what are you guys doing here? Hey, William, we didn't see you in the caravan. I was like, no, I live here. You live here? And so they were like, wow, this neighborhood's cool. Because there's hundreds of kids just playing in my neighborhood. And where Britt and Brad come from, they live in the suburbs and kids don't play outside. So they're like, we came to bring the canned foods to the poor people. I was like, oh, well, I'll follow you. Didn't register. Like, poof, they come to my house. I'm like, wow. So it still didn't register because it was like boxes of cereal and food. It didn't hit me until I went back to school. And Brent and Brad was like, William's the poor people. So I was like, wow. But then they were like, his neighborhood is so cool. There was kids everywhere. And so then at the time that I thought I was going to be made fun of, or they were talking about my neighborhood, how cool it was, the art that was on the walls. It's colorful. The buildings are colorful. The art is colorful. So to an outsider, they're probably like, wow, what is this? So it wasn't a bad blow. But ever since then, like when I was 12, I was like, wow, I want to move my mom out of this neighborhood, if this is a bad neighborhood, because I didn't know up until the canned food drive. So the dream came because there was a calling, and the calling was to support my mom.